You did not think you were going to make it. There was a specific night. You remember it, not the date, but the feeling, the ceiling above your bed. The silence that felt like weight. The specific moment when something inside you cracked and you genuinely did not know if you were going to be okay. And here you are, still here. You made it through something that was supposed to finish you. And somehow, you still do not fully believe that because nobody told you. Nobody handed you a certificate. Nobody looked you in the eye and said what you survived was real. And you passed. Carl Jung spent his entire career studying people who survived their darkest seasons, and he discovered something most people never hear. He said the most profound psychological tests in a human life do not announce themselves as tests. They arrive as ordinary destruction, as loss, as betrayal, as the specific collapse of something you built your entire identity around, and the people who pass them never know they passed because there is no finish line. There is only a morning where the weight is slightly different, a day where you laugh and mean it, a moment where you realize the thing that broke you did not actually break you. Stay with me, because the 7 signs I'm about to share are not a list. They are a mirror, and most people look away before they see what is actually there. Sign 1, you do not talk about it the same way anymore. The thing that hurt you most. 6 months ago to 1 year ago, you could not say it without the wound reopening completely. Now you can say it and feel something different. Not nothing. Something quieter. Something that has a shape instead of just weight. Jung called this the transformation of affect. When pain stops being raw and starts being integrated, you did not become numb. You became stronger than the memory that is a sign. Sign 2, you stopped waiting for an apology. And this one hurts to hear, because somewhere inside you, part of you is still waiting for them to acknowledge what they did, for the universe to send some kind of confirmation that you were right and they were wrong. But a quieter part of you has stopped holding your breath. Jung said this is the moment the ego stops being dependent on external validation to heal. When you stop waiting for their acknowledgement, you have already passed the test. Sign 3, the worst version of you appeared during that time, and you are not proud of it. You said things, did things, became someone you did not recognize, and you have been carrying guilt about that version of yourself ever since. Here is what Jung would tell you. The shadow surfaces during crisis, not because you are broken, because the pressure was real. The fact that you can now look at that version of yourself with honesty instead of running from it is not a failure. It is integration, and integration is exactly what passing looks like. Sign 4, you are more careful now about who gets your energy. Not cold, not closed, careful. You used to give freely without checking. Now something in you asks a question first. Is this safe? Is this reciprocal? Is this worth what it costs? Jung called this the development of psychological discernment. When your empathy gets boundaries, you did not lose your softness. You earned your wisdom. If something in this is landing somewhere real right now, subscribe, because the next video goes even deeper into exactly what you became after the test and why most people do not recognize the version of themselves that came out the other side. Sign 5. Something you used to want desperately, you no longer want in the same way. The relationship, the job, the version of the future you had planned in detail. It does not call to you the same way anymore. This is not loss. This is evolution. Jung called it the transformation of the psyche's values. When you survive real darkness, what matters shifts, not away from life, deeper into it. What you want now is more specific, more honest, more yours. That is not settling. That is arriving. Sign 6. You can sit with silence now. Before, silence was unbearable. You needed noise, distraction, anything to fill the space the pain left behind. Now silence does not feel like a threat. It feels like something you earned. Jung wrote that the capacity to be alone without anxiety is one of the clearest signs of psychological maturity. Not everyone develops it. Most people never get quiet enough to find themselves. You did. Sign 7. You are watching this video right now, not searching for entertainment, searching for confirmation. For someone to say what you have not let yourself say out loud. I made it. That search is not weakness. That is a person who went through something real and is now doing the quiet work of understanding what it made them. Jung spent his entire career saying one thing in different ways. The wound is where the transformation happens, not around it, not above it, through it. You went through it. That is the test. And you are standing on the other side of it, even if it does not feel that way yet. The feeling catches up. It always does. The 7 signs are not things you did perfectly. They are things that happened in you without your permission while you were just trying to survive. Jung would say that is exactly how the deepest tests work. They transform you before you agree to be transformed. And the person reading these signs right now is not the same person who walked into that dark season. That person is gone. What you are now is what the fire made, and the fire made something real. Share this with someone who is still inside the hardest thing they have ever faced. They need to hear that making it through is not the same as feeling okay. You can be not okay and still be passing the test. Subscribe, because what comes next is for the person who made it through and is now figuring out what to do with everything they became.